So today, lads, we're going to be talking about this on ESPN about the WNBA CBA negotiations. So this is from Alexa Philippou. And if we're being real here, Alexa Philippou is one of, I'm not going to say again one of the only, because that's a wrong statement to make, but she is kind of the main person at ESPN. And it's ESPN, so they're going to get the scoop. As you've seen, they have Shams on the men's side, and they have Alexa Philippou on the women's side. She is big. She is very, very big as far as breaking all these news. And I was waiting for a lot of time for Alexa Philippou to break the news of what the last CBA negotiations are. However, she didn't. And it's an interesting one to see that 2 days later, nothing has been done. So let's take a listen here.
You have been all over this story. Where do things stand right now between the WNBA and the Players Union?
Yeah, Mina, well, the WNBA sent a counter proposal to the Players Union on Saturday. That was a day after the Players Union sent a counter proposal itself to the league on Friday. So you had that back and forth, but right now the ball is technically in the players' court. It's been described to me that those proposals contained some movement, indicating a little bit of progress, but I think it's notable that we actually haven't had leaks from either.
So some movement. Look, some movement. My guess is that I think Lexi Brown basically, I heard that she said something, and basically it's that if the players were to agree to net revenue, then the players would basically not make any concessions otherwise. Like, housing has to be a guarantee. The salary cap has to be higher if they're going to agree to net revenue. That was kind of always my guess, was that something like that was going to happen, because if you're going on net revenue and that ends up being the case, even if net revenue ends up being zero or net revenue is in the negative, at least if you get all those things, it's all those things that are bringing the net revenue. The things that are bringing the net revenue into the minuses are stuff that benefits you directly. So that kind of makes sense with what they're doing there.
Either side so far about the contents of that proposal, perhaps indicating that both sides actually see and understand the seriousness of what this deadline tomorrow could bring. And so while that March 10th date was initially described to me as more of like a target, it does still mean that the league is operating as if they need to get this deal done really sooner rather than later, if not as soon as possible, to ensure the schedule won't be impacted.
You have been all over this.
So yeah, it does seem, and by the way, if going down to the wire to get the season started on time, doubtful of start time after all they've been through, we never know. Like, at this stage, we'll know in the next week whether it's starting on time. We will. Like, again, it is a soft deadline. It is not a hard deadline. It is a soft deadline. If the agreement is March the 14th, the season's fine. If the agreement is March the 21st, then you're like, oh, this is not an ideal scenario. It really just comes down to that, pretty much. Like, when the agreement's made, and because my guess is that the lawyers in the background are having to prep. Like, all their lawyers on retainer are probably going to have to prep for what may or may not happen, and prep to get the deal ready with pretty quickly. But yeah, I think it will be an interesting one anyway to see what's going on, to actually see what's going to be going on in this. But by the sounds of things, it sounds like the likelihood is that the both sides have realized, okay, we actually have to sort this out now. And I mean, it's until they get in a room, nothing's going to happen. Until they get in a room, absolutely nothing is going to happen. Because if they don't end up getting into a room and discussing this, it's just going to be constant back and forth. But yeah, it is an interesting one. But I've seen it again from the Sports Business Journal. I think they wrote an article as well about this as well. I think we've seen Front Office Sports talk about this. We saw Annie talk about it yesterday. I think it is relevant. Like, if you can see here, it says here the two major sticking points are the players aren't budging on housing, and the league is unwilling. It says here 15% revenue share, like, which is which is the net revenue share. So the players aren't budging on housing. They're, no matter what, housing has to be a thing for the players. And for the owners, they're not going to give them a gross rev share, which is grand. Like, which happens. Like, it happens. Like, you can absolutely end up getting a gross rev share, or like a situation where you're in a net rev share and still is a win for the players. I think everything's a win for the players. Like, as Kelsey Plum Stewie said, like, everything's a win. Everything's a win. We have a rev share now. Salaries are up, whatever, 400%. But at the end of the day, it's going to have to come down to that. I was regarding Pro's trade this weekend. No details were undisclosed. Nobody has gone to the media to try use something for their benefit. That's literally all that's been happening, is that we've seen stuff be leaked straight away. So both sides, whenever both sides feel the other side is being unreasonable, they go straight to the media. Right now, both sides have basically said, you know what, now we're not going to go to the media. And for me, that means the likelihood of a season happening is a lot higher than it was two proposals ago. I think the more likely people to cave, like I stand by this. There's going to be, it's not going to be, neither side's going to get what they want. What's going to happen is that one side is going to put forward a deal that the other side deems too risky to turn down. And then maybe they go back with a very similar deal to the original one, or to what that is, and maybe get something on their side. It comes down to whichever side. It's a really weird one, because it's a game of chicken. Because whichever side gets closer to what the other side wants, the other side is going to come back with one last proposal or a meeting, and then they're going to get the slight edge. It is margins. It's going to come down to the margins, because I think everyone knows in and around what's going to happen, what it's going to take for season to start. Salary cap minimum 7 million, and that's a minimum of 7 million. It might have to be closer to 8. Housing has to be there. Teams have to be supply housing to all players through the duration of the CBA. The term will be 6 years, not 8 years. There'll be an opt-out point at some stage. If I'm the players, I'm not as bogged down on the net revenue, because what will happen is, if it turns out that the TV deal gets renegotiated in 3 years and it doubles, 70% of that doubling of revenue comes to you. That profit comes to you. So that's a huge one. And yeah, it is a very, very interesting thing to think about. So yeah, that would be my opinion of all this. I do personally think that this is we're now at a situation where we're definitely now in a situation where it's last minute, when we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. It's not even a matter of weeks, and a couple of days, whether or not this season happens. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. Do I think the season happens on time? Yes, but it's like very close to being 50-50. Anyway, see you guys.